Hey guys, I'm Sydney.
And I'm Zach.
And you're watching the Midnight Jamboree.
So it's another day, and we decided we're doing another unboxing. The last unboxing we did was of the Super Nintendo Classic from Europe, and today, a little sequel video, as we were fortunate enough to get the American one too! Oh, this box just takes you back.
So,
it takes you back.
In our last video, we talked about how we had been trying to find one at Walmart and how Walmart was not being very nice to us.
No.
But today, we went to Target because I was on the hunt for some Halloween decorations.
And because I knew that this would be there.
So we picked one up because why not?
And they had them in the case. Just
Yeah.
regularly in the case. Anybody could have walked up. It wasn't like, oh, we have them behind the counter. You know, people have to ask for it. No, it was just out there for anybody.
And it was really funny because when I asked them if they could unlock it for us, the dude was like, yeah, like he was surprised that they actually had one. But
yeah, not just one. They had 3 other ones past this one, and they had 2 before we got there. And a lot of stores, they're starting to get this again.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I said it in our last video, but this will be around. I know that sounds ridiculous right now, but I have been seeing so many more shipments. We're about 2 weeks out from when it was originally released, almost 3. And stores are getting it. I mean, Walmart got shipments in at almost all of their stores last week. Target is getting stores in, at their stores that are getting shipments in all this week to almost all of their stores. So it's not like this isn't coming back like the NES did, where it just came out and then like months later, it's like, oh, I might have gotten one, and then they were like, oh, it's discontinued, and barely getting one after that.
Yeah.
So.
It was pretty easy for us to walk into a pretty populated Target, walk up to the electronics counter and go, I want that. And they were just like, okay, here you go. Like, I mean, obviously we paid for it.
Oh, yeah. No, I just took it.
I'm taking this. Thanks, bye!
And we are going to open it. And as I mentioned in the last video, this was the one I really wanted. I wanted both because obviously it's a fantastic kind of collectible thing, but
It is.
To get both from different parts of the world is just excellent. Because as far as I know, I don't know if it's Canada too. I assume it is, but America and Canada will be the only places that can get this one specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you can see, there's a little bit of French on the box because Quebec. And I think there's some Spanish on here as well. So maybe Mexico did get this version as well.
Well,
I can't confirm nor deny that because I don't know. As you can see, like I said, the box is beautiful, just with such the nostalgia. I mean, kind of the little triangle there, and the green, and then the dots there. This looks exactly, not exactly, but pretty darn close to how they looked when they first came out.
and the box definitely looks different than the one the other day, too, because like you were talking about in the other one, it's very prominent on the front of this one that Star Fox 2
Yeah,
is in
it's
this
a pretty
one.
big deal.
Because games included, Star Fox 2 never before released, and the last one it just said 20+1 games and had a few, like I think it was like Mario and Zelda on the front.
Let's just pull this out here. It's priceless. You gotta be careful with this stuff. And this obviously comes with more instructions. The service and warranty, blah blah blah. It has startup instructions, which seems like it comes connected to this really sweet looking poster. I like it. Now you're playing with superpower.
Now you're playing with power.
It's so bad. It's so cool though. I love that.
Now I want like a miniature Power Glove.
I want them to re-release the Power Glove for something. I don't know, just anything. I want one.
But they need to come out with a miniature one that will fit my hand that I can play with this
A
one.
lady's option.
In pink.
Yeah, it's just pretty cool that they kind of just have startup instructions. I don't think you really need to tell people how to start one of these up.
You plug it in, you hit start.
It's helpful either way. So the first thing, obviously, that you notice is that it does come with a plug here. It says Nintendo, so that's pretty cool that it's a licensed one, because as I mentioned in the other one, it's being released at a lot of different places in the world, so it didn't have kind of an adapter like this, so you could just plug it in USB. And
really can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so many different voltages, blah, 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 blah. So here's the thing. Let's pop this. I'm being very careful. I feel like I need gloves.
like white glove treatment.
Oh.
It's so cute.
Oh.
Is this making you happy?
Very.
Like we said in our last video, this was Zach's system growing up. Once they come out with the N64, I will be acting exactly like this. Like, I'm happy for this. I'm excited for this. But he is like little kid on Christmas. Like,
Oh my god.
do they actually slide?
The power button slides up and down, and so does the reset button. Oh my god, this is...
Fantastic. That gives me hope for the N64 now, because that was always like...
And I know it's dumb, but even the eject button moves a little bit. Obviously, there's nothing to eject, but it's still kind of there. That's just perfect.
And I love that it even gives you the details of like where the controllers used to plug in.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of the first thing that I thought when they were like, oh yeah, we're making a Super Nintendo. I was like, where's the thing's gonna go?
Where does everything go?
You can kind of see right here, just pulls down, and then you plug them in right there. That's fantastic.
It's really cute.
Obviously, less important stuff. I mean, it's got the USB, HDMI, kind of just your standard stuff. I mean, you know what those look like. But these are another thing I was super excited about. The controller.
They don't feel as smooth as the other ones, in my opinion. The ABX and Y, they feel a little bit more stiff.
This is something that I did point out in our last video. For the kind of international version, the Y and the X weren't indented like they are in the American version.
Yeah, and they are
obviously
on this
different
one.
colors. They're going to be a purple scheme that kind of goes along with that, but that's fascinating.
But no, I mean, this is definitely exciting. Like I said, I didn't really get a game system in my house growing up until we got the N64. That was our first kind of big delve into gaming systems besides my dad's original Game Boy that he had that we played Tetris on. So I've never really played with an SNES unless I was like at a friend's house, and you know, that was very rare that my friends had something like this. Most of us had N64, PS2, things like that.
And kind of the later things.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of PlayStation though, I honestly wonder if Microsoft and Sony are going to jump on the bandwagon and start doing miniature versions, or even if Sega is going to like redo...
Well, Sega already has the Genesis things and stuff like that they kind of go through third-party people to make, and there's a lot of like the Commodore's coming back, and there's a couple other things, and Atari's coming back, and it's kind of ridiculous, but I mean...
The nostalgia,
But I think that that's kind of the thing that they're banking too much on. There's nostalgia for these games.
Yeah.
For those, there's the system nostalgia. I don't know too many people who go around like, oh man, this console had the best games and things like that. No.
Do you remember Pong?
Yeah, it's like,
Pong!
That's great, but I don't think it'll have the same kind of selling power that these really do. And I'm extremely excited, but to kind of that point, I know that Microsoft is releasing a lot of their Xbox games for the Xbox One X that's coming up.
Yeah.
And I just don't really think that PlayStation will do that, because Sony seems to be less and less and less about backwards compatibility. They want you to rebuy the games in that capacity, as opposed to just, you know, oh, hey, here's a little PlayStation, a PS1, here you go. I would love for that to happen. I think it'd be really cool, but I really don't see it happening.
Like you said, though, they're not the biggest on backwards compatibility. They're more like, oh, well, you know, this game you really like to play on the PS3, we have it re-released on the PS4.
But it's digital.
Yeah. Let's play it on the PS4.
Yeah,
or, you know, like they did with Batman Arkham games where they remastered them and re-released them. But Xbox, over, you know, when the Xbox One started picking up a lot of momentum, they started backwards compatibility with a lot of their big ticket games on the 360. And for the longest time on the 360, there were a lot of backwards compatibility with the original Xbox. And a lot of them you can buy on the Xbox Marketplace and things like that. And like you said, with the One X, is that what it is?
Xbox One, okay.
Is that the Scorpio thing that's coming out? I don't know. So having that backwards compatibility was always great because you would be able to play, you know, games that you used to play all the time. Like when we had our 360, I would play all the games I used to play on my original Xbox, and that was great.
Yeah.
And so if they were to do something like this, where they were to put out, you know, a miniature Xbox that had their big ticket games that you can't play anymore, because if they were to do that, like for the people that solely have, like, you know, an Xbox One or even the Xbox One X when it comes out, I think that would be cool.
I think so too, but I can't honestly count on my hand 20 original Microsoft games for the Xbox One, their first Xbox, that I'd be like, man, I really need to get that. I mean, it's like Halo and like three other things.
But they've remastered Halo so
Yeah.
many times and put them out in like the Master Chief
So it's like,
collection and things
what's
like
the
that.
point?
Yeah, and all of the Halo games, the ones that are remastered for the 360, are all backwards compatible, obviously.
Yeah. And similar to that with Crash Bandicoot, when they're remastering that, if they ever released a PlayStation 1, that'd be one of the games I'd want included on there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a Spyro remastered set that comes out pretty soon.
I wouldn't be surprised. They are getting pretty good about remastering some of those old games. And I mean, Spyro had the Skylanders for the longest time, but that obviously is
So,
not a thing any
a
longer.
little bit of a pin in the Toys to Life business. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I mean, so I don't think it's as viable as it is for Nintendo, because even if they've released these games again in other formats, I mean, Donkey Kong Country has been released on like 8 different consoles
Right.
since then, but it's still the fact of the nostalgia. You remember it. You're going to be playing these games on something like this, whereas I don't feel Sony and Microsoft kind of have that. I think that'll do it for the kind of this installment. There's a reason that this hasn't gone in the box though, because it's going to go right over there to that television. I'm going to plug it in within the next 3 minutes, and I'm going to play retro games all night, and it's going to be fan-freaking-tastic.
So while Zach's setting that up, why don't you go ahead and go down to the bottom of this screen, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know the next time that we upload a video, and also follow us on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, and Twitter. And while you're down there, leave us a comment about one of your favorite gaming systems from when you were growing up and what your favorite game would be on the Super Nintendo system.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're pretty excited about Super Mario RPG, like you said in the last one.
Super excited.
Star Fox 2. I'm just
Less
excited to play
excited.
Link to the Past, but
Oh, yes.
I mean...
That's a great one.
So, until next time, guys, I'm Sydney,
And I'm Zach.
and you're watching the Midnight Jamboree.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
guys.